and welcome to 10th Year Seniors' fourth podcast. I'm John Mark Nutt.
I'm Tej Adderley.
I'm Dakari, resident football expert.
I'm Ronaldo. I'm just sad it's not college basketball season yet.
Kentucky!
So, great news. We have our studio. First time doing the podcast in the studio.
Dropping beats.
This is a studio. We got mic
Just
booms and
straight
everything.
bars.
I'm about to spit a hot 16.
know it.
We got more than 2 mics.
And everyone gets to say their own piece.
We're moving up in the world. Very happy about that. Very excited.
Just wait till next week when we have everything in the studio.
It's going to be a struggle for us to be disciplined with all these microphones. I'm just going to interject whenever I want now. I think I don't know, you might have not done good.
And to segue, this podcast is on the NFL season. This is our resident NFL preview. I know everyone's doing a preview, so here we go. Ours, of course, is going to be more Bahamian-centric.
It's going to be awesome. Awesome.
Because what we want to do is to start by outlining the top 5 teams that are, I guess you could say, the most important teams to Bahamians. And so first up, of course, you have the home team, the one and only Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Hey, did y'all read that article on why they suck today?
Yes, I actually sent that out. But I know Dakar has been biting at the chomps for this one. So come on, Dakar. Let us know about our Dolphins.
First of all, clear the set. I was very upset about what was being said inside the group chat. We don't need that kind of slander being propagated against the Miami, Nassau, Bahamas Dolphins. Like, stop that. We are about to go 10-6, 11-5, possibly win the AFC East. Possibly,
you're changing your thing from Sunday. I mean, you were saying we were going to win the AFC East on Sunday. You backing off already?
Well, then, because I heard that Gronk was actually going to play week 1. So then that, I know. See, that pissed you off, right? Because you're like, oh man, we were gonna beat them.
Y'all know a tight end can only swing a game like 2 points, right?
Except the Dolphins notoriously cannot defend tight end ever since we drafted Koamisi, who cannot keep up with anyone that tall.
Y'all gonna lose because y'all gonna lose. It don't have anything to do with Gronk.
Okay, you know what? Maybe Tay should take a break from the football podcast. I don't know. He's not making any salient points right now.
So let's think about what the Dolphins bring back this year. And they have Ryan Tannehill, who, me personally, I'm not a fan of him, but my good colleague over there, Dakari, loves him.
I actually like Tannehill. Like, I like him. You know, I just noticed you got a Jay Fiedler figurine. That's the saddest thing.
Jay Fiedler. Hold on.
That's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I'm gonna take
Is his eyes red?
I'm gonna take a picture of this. You know, Travis Minor. I mean, this is really, really deep.
Right.
Chris Chambers.
Travis Minor, Florida State.
Ryan Tannehill is a mobile quarterback who's been playing quarterback for like 5 years. People have been doing this their entire life, and Ryan Tannehill is still better than a serviceable. Right, he was a receiver, so he's better than a serviceable quarterback. He has Mike Wallace. He has Gibson back. He has Charles Clay. He has Brian Hartline. The Dolphins have a strong receiving core, and the Patriots needed to get that good in their defensive backfield because they have to keep up with what the Dolphins are doing right now.
But they're the Patriots, and you guys are the Dolphins. That means they're gonna find nobody.
And at some point, everyone cracks. At some point, the Patriots are going to crack. This could be the year.
They're gonna find a nobody at the bottom of the draft, and they're gonna ride him to 1,500 yards receiving. And then you guys are going to pay somebody a lot of money, and they're going to be terrible. Because you know why? Because that's the order of the universe.
I don't know. I think because we lost LeBron, though, and this is real talk, I think the sporting gods are going to do the Dolphins a favor this year. We could actually be pretty good, but like I said, I have my doubts with Tannehill, but we weren't that bad of a team last year.
This is some amazing sports analysis. We lost LeBron, so the Dolphins have to be good by default.
I mean, look, LeBron leaves in the Marlins almost 500 now. I mean, it's sport gods.
I like it. It's a very salient point, and the sporting gods are that kind. But a bigger question, I think, for the Dolphins, of course, everything hinges on Ryan Tannehill, because Ryan Tannehill has to make the leap or the Dolphins don't get in the playoffs. But the big question for them is also on the defensive side of the ball. They gave up a lot to draft Dion Jordan. He has yet to pan out and won't even be playing the first, 4 games?
4 games. Suspended for PEDs?
If you're gonna take PEDs, I at least need to see some evidence on why you're taking
Some
these
muscle
PEDs.
mass or something.
I need to see something. I need to see you have an impact on a game once in a while.
I have a question. Since how is Tannehill gonna make the leap? Since half of one of his linemen took his ball and went home, and the other one
By getting better ones.
one is a comic book bully.
A few things.
It's like
One,
Reggie from Archie and
we
Jughead.
picked up
Incognito.
the biggest offensive lineman free agent, Alberts, this year from the Chiefs. So we stole him for the Chiefs. That's part of the reason the Chiefs are going to have a regression. We drafted offensive lineman Juwan James in the first round.
I think
James
we kind
do
of
good
reached
in
with
Miami.
him. For
Pouncey
James.
will be back.
Pouncey is a
after
crazy
the-
person.
No, but
and that's
Pouncey is
fine.
a good offensive lineman.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
put
crazy,
it that
but
way.
he's also a good
He's someone
offensive
you
lineman.
need. It's just like I'm a fan of Richie Incognito. I mean, you need people like him on the offensive line, but apparently the Dolphins
an
don't.
improved offensive line, better
Base rate
continuity,
people.
better continuity, and improved receiver play if everyone stays healthy. That's why Ryan Tannehill will be better, and he has an extra year of playing. You shouldn't just read the Deadspin article. You should have read the ESPN article.
No,
Deadspin writes
guys.
it tongue in cheek, but
I
then,
I actually like Tannehill though. I like his skill set and I like his athleticism. And if them receivers can stay healthy and the O line can keep him upright, I think he could do some because he has some ability.
What'll also help him? I mean, everybody knows the Dolphins had issues last year on the O-line, but Noshawn Moreno is actually one of the best blocking backs in the league. I have to find something to talk up Noshawn Moreno. I'm not impressed with him as a runner, but he is the best blocking back in the league, and that counts for something.
You guys need a running back.
We do, and I don't know. It's just like Coach Philbin thinks that this wide receiver by committee thing, this running back by committee thing is going to work. This ain't college. This is the NFL.
It does.
You
In today's NFL,
You can
all,
find a running
all
back
of the
anywhere.
cool kids have running backs by committee. Nobody has that. It's very rare that you have that one-star running back
It's
that
like-
just gets all the carries. The Adrian Peterson model is dying in the
Sean
NFL.
McCoy, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles. I mean, those are the top 3 running backs in the league who carry the entire load.
okay, there are 32 teams. in the
And they
league,
all
John.
made the playoffs.
I
Except,
think, first of all, they
no,
need to-
no. I lied. Adrian carried them to the playoffs 2 years ago.
They need to
No, he
drug
didn't
test
carry
Jamal
them to the
Charles.
playoffs. Brett Favre was on the team.
2 years ago?
No, that's Castle. Castle was on the team.
Yeah. 2 years ago
Matt
when he
Castle
ran for
started on the
2,000
team and
yards.
they made the playoffs, and he threw for 20 yards in a game.
Adrian Peterson's team?
Yes, when
What we should not do is judge anyone else by Adrian Peterson. He's a freak that came back from a torn ACL in 8 months. Do not judge any other back, any other athlete in the world on Adrian Peterson.
It's just like Calvin Johnson,
go
this
right
wide
there.
receiver. It's like, you can't be in this stratosphere. Let's just put it that way.
well, I think Adrian Peterson is a freak for the same, for different reasons. They need to. His forehead looking real big.
Dolphins, yeah. Let's stick to the Dolphins.
Stick to the
and why.
hometown team, the Dolphins.
Improved secondary. Dolphins start
Who
off
got
with New
suspended
England.
again from the Dolphins?
Rashard Jones.
Rashard Jones. I mean, that's a big safety right there. 4 games. The first
Yeah, but
4 games.
there's a difference between being suspended in the middle of the season when the team is already accustomed to you being the starter, to being suspended in the beginning of the season when the person who's going to fill in has reps with the first team,
Yeah,
knows
the
that they're going to
difference
start,
is
and
we can
knows what
start
they have
off
to do.
0-4 as opposed to being 2-4 and then losing the next couple of games where we have no wins.
This is what's wrong with Dolphin fans. Pessimism. Why are you all so negative and so pessimistic? We have a shot at the Patriots now, and you know who else believes we have a shot at the Patriots? The Patriots think we have a shot at them.
No, they don't.
No. One thing about us and the Patriots, it's either really close and we win, or we just get blown out the water.
I feel like we brought in Cortland Finnegan just to fight the Patriots receivers, and I think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna send him in as a ringer. He's gonna get Gronk suspended at the most crucial point in the season. I look forward to it.
I feel like Cortland Finnegan has that Ramsey Bolton crazy person look on in his eyes. He's legitimately not
Sick reference, bro.
he does. I love that. He's a crazy person.
So what are you thinking the Dolphins do this year? You say 10-5, 11-5, 10-6.
7-9.
I'm gonna go with 9-7.
I'm going 500. I think they're a 500 team, just looking outside the playoffs. And I actually think Ryan Tannehill gets worse from last season, and they don't renew his 4th-year contract because it's worth so much money.
Okay, and when the Dolphins do go 10-6 or 11-5
I
and
would be
make the playoffs,
dancing all over the place.
I want the rest of 10th year seniors. I'm gonna buy you guys a bottle, and you have to finish the bottle of tequila. just on air, live during a podcast. That's what you have to do for me.
That's not
Thank
a
you.
challenge. That's like
Yeah,
Saturday.
we're gonna have
That's
margaritas.
like
Is,
Saturday.
I was just about to say, is that
Loophole.
punishment or is that us losing a bet or just what we do on Saturday?
If you would have said fire in the hole or something like that, then I can understand it.
Fireball.
No, but it's not a margarita. You're taking shots. You're taking shots for the whole podcast.
I
Deal
just
with that.
bought shot glasses from San Francisco, so yay.
Okay, so that's the Dolphins, number 1 on the list of top Bahamian teams. So we go to number 2, the Dallas Cowboys.
Tony, oh no.
They call it America's team, but it's really also America and part of the Bahamas' team.
As a Giants fan, I'm offended that we even talk about these but they're like the New York Knicks of football. They've been bad for like 20 years. They won a championship when Jimmy Johnson was there. He won it on his own.
You know what I would do for that championship in 1990, whatever? I would do so much of the Dolphins had been there, but we might be by Buffalo. But back to the Cowboys, one of the biggest teams here. Don't know why. I guess because they would be on TV all the time, and these younger people.
I mean, there's reasons why the Cowboys are so well known. They won the Super Bowl in the early 90s, just when not only 3 Super Bowls. Not only when the internet was taking off, when I feel like sports in general was changing, how sports coverage was adapted, and the uniforms look good. They had a superstar team. They had a lot of Miami Hurricanes on the
They
team.
don't. They can't even settle on
and
a shade of blue.
Okay, and then that's part of the appeal. A lot of uniforms. The Cowboys, I think, and they've always been very entertaining, even in losses. That's the kind of thing that
You know what's entertaining?
So the
Train
Cowboys
wrecks.
and the Lakers, they're the same type of. They have the same type of dynamic. They're entertaining regardless of winning or losing.
Well, I think a big thing too is the Thanksgiving games, and people always say, I mean, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here, but there is one thing we do on Thanksgiving. We watch football. No matter, I remember when I was in school, we used to duck out to one of the classes that had a TV, put that cable connection in, and bam, we're watching football. It didn't matter. So that's another big thing for these Cowboy fans to be able to have a lot of them in the Bahamas.
And let's not forget, a lot of people, especially in our age range, we grew up watching this team play with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and then a few years later they got Deion Sanders. So this has always been, it's kind of like the Lakers where they always have that star power, and front-running fans love star power.
Well, back in the 90s, they used to get that star power. Like, hands down, every season, people will want to go there. So the Cowboys were always in the discussion of the free agents. Where does this free agent want to go? Where do it's always the Cowboys. It's like now they've lost that luster a little bit. And I think that's because Jerry Jones is trying to control the
They
team way
lost it
too
all
much.
the way. Like they lost it years ago, but nobody wanted to say it. Like I think people are just finally starting to admit that they're not any good. They haven't been good for 15 years. Like you know what I mean?
So let's talk about this year's Cowboys.
They're gonna be terrible.
As of course they still have issues on the defensive end.
Oh, the defense is god awful.
All right, let's go with that then. They lost DeMarcus Ware. They lost Orlando Scandrick in the secondary to a PED violation.
How
So-
how do you get suspended for taking a molly? He took a molly.
The suspension talk in the NFL is a whole different ball game right now because there's been a lot of things going on.
I mean, their rules are stupid, but really a molly. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, like that's a whole conversation to itself. We could talk about that another time with the suspensions and how stupid some of them are. All right, but let's just see.
I just
what do
hate the Cow. I'm a Giants fan. I'm sorry. I hate the Cowboys.
Well,
And
what do you think the Cowboys are going to do this season?
They're gonna suck.
The Cowboys, I think, probably actually finished 7-9 or 8-8 just off the strength of Tony Romo. They have Dez Bryant,
sucks.
who's one of the best receivers in the league. Like, hands down, he should be a Dolphin, but
Des Bryant is good.
we're idiots.
I
Just
wanna
like
say
Randy
something-
Moss should have been a Dolphin,
Yeah,
but we
but-
didn't draft him either.
I want to say something.
We
bad
would have
about
drafted
them.
him with Dan Marino on the team.
They still suck.
John just walked away from the mic and threw his hands up. No, John, it's not a visual medium. That didn't really work. But okay, we get it. You're very upset we didn't draft Randy Moss.
So
I think the Cowboys are going to struggle as long as Jerry Jones continues his path towards becoming a sort of cartoon character kind of owner. I'm not sure what Jerry Jones is doing. 1 minute he's in the media.
he's not sure what he's doing.
1 minute he's in the media for some questionable picks with hot girls in elevators. The next minute
He's saying he's going to pick Johnny Football and then doesn't pick Johnny Football, then regrets not picking Johnny Football.
He's having tampering conversations with Adrian Peterson, which, by the way, he's not going to get punished for because they said in his
Adrian.
actions, he seemed too drunk for it to be about football. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. You agree? That's
If he was a player, he gets suspended for
I
half a
mentioned that in
season.
my column.
The ESPN reporter said in front of me, he was talking to him just like, yeah, we're going to get you to the
I
Cowboys.
want that to be my excuse for everything I
was
do
so
for the rest of my
drunk.
life. I was so drunk. It wasn't football related. I'm sorry. I don't know what
If
you
that
wanted
was a
me to
valid
do.
excuse, like I would have still been with my girlfriend from 10 years ago.
So it's gonna be basically up to the offense completely. It's gonna be up to Romo. It's gonna be up to DeMarco Murray and Des Bryant to deliver this team to a what's their record, Tage?
6-10.
Kari, you
Hate
said
the
they'd
Cowboys.
7-9.
Wow, you're really giving them a lot of wins.
I'm gonna go with 6-10 as well for the
I got
Cowboys.
5 and 11.
Ooh.
Yeah, 5 and 11 for them.
Harsh.
You realize
I don't
Tony
really
Romo
think
is
they're
still
that
good, right? But
Yeah,
you know,
Tony
move
Romo is
on.
a fantasy football quarterback, not a real life quarterback.
That translates to wins as well. So let's go to number 3 on our list for top quote unquote Bahamian teams, and we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Huge fan following in the Bahamas.
You got to give it to those Steeler fans here because they are real fans.
My aunt
Yeah.
loves them.
They do. They had a big following way back when they were really good in the 70s.
70s. Steelers.
And-
Terry Bradshaw on the team and everything. I mean,
Yeah, and Big
Swan.
Ben's version of the Steel Curtain kind of brought that resurgence. And
oh yeah,
so-
when they were winning playoff games into the Super Bowl here, I don't think it would be to the level of what the Dolphins would be if they win a championship here.
no.
but it was pretty up there with happiness of fans.
I think that has something to do with the Bahamians being front runners because they were pretty dominant in the 70s. And I guess a lot of people got
but
that
to
back.
maintain that for decades though.
I mean, you would have to say that has to do with everyone being front runners. Like the team, aside from the Dolphins, the team we're talking about, Cowboys, Steelers, and later on, I don't want to ruin the list, but those teams have a lot of fans throughout America because they won so many games, so many Super Bowls. And for the Steelers, part of what gets fans on their side, they have an awesome marketing concept in those terrible towels. They're bright yellow. They spin them around when the team is doing good.
I think
People
their
love that. They
fandom-
just love watching
You know
that.
what else too? They were in a Batman movie. They got.
Nah, I don't think that just recently came out, so I don't think that
That doesn't
established-
hurt.
I don't think that established the
That
deep
does
roots
not
in the
hurt.
70s.
Hines Ward returned to kick.
That's super important. Which, by the way, was such BS. Hines Ward
He's so
returned
slow.
to kick.
He retired. He retired. And
You know,
happened.
you
Can
know,
I-
Hines
can I
Ward
say
had
I
a
was-
torn ACL out of high school.
Can I say I was in the movies watching that, and I turned to my girlfriend and I said, "Do you realize how ridiculous this is?
I
That
said,
Hines
"Look at me,
Ward
so
is
slow.
returning
He
this kick for a
retired. They brought
touchdown."
him back to make this movie.
They could have picked anyone else
Mike
in the
Wallace?
NFL.
Mike Wallace
They
is right
picked
there.
Hines. Who does Hines Ward know? Like, what producer does he know to get
I think
himself
they let
that
him
gig?
get that.
I just think he's a marketable guy. He's always been a.
I think they let him get that because he retired and he was the most.
Yeah,
he
he-
was the most. Did you know the mayor of Pittsburgh actually kicked off because he was like a kicker in college? Didn't know that. Yeah,
No, I didn't
he's
know that.
like 26. Yeah, you just learned something today.
Wait,
Yeah.
the mayor of Pittsburgh is 26.
He was like young when he did that, and he was a kicker in college, and he did the kickoff, and he had his name on the back of the jersey.
we don't know shit about the Steelers.
We know nothing about the
There's
Steelers.
nothing, Jon Snow.
Yes, if this was the Dolphins, we would know everything. But
No,
it's
but
not.
we do know that the Steelers they pretty much completely revamped their running game.
I don't know
They've
anything
got
about
like
him.
Garrett Blount back there, and
I remember when he-
I'm no good with.
I
his
remember when he
first
punched
name-
that dude at when he was at Oregon, and he punched that dude at Boise State. That's
Oh yeah, and then he got suspended the whole year.
I-
I mean, that really hurt Oregon,
that
but
was fun to watch.
I mean,
Is it-
now
is
he's
it-
in the
is it-
NFL with.
I know. Keep getting them checks.
Is it Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon Bell.
That's how you say it. It's Le'Veon.
He's a running back. He's gonna be out of the league in 3 years.
Well, if he makes that fourth year, he gets that pension.
Keep
How
getting
many
them checks.
apostrophes does he have in his name?
All of the apostrophes.
All of them.
All of the apostrophes.
I don't know if I'm gonna get on board with somebody with that many apostrophes in his name. And there were some leadership questions arising from the Steelers after Emmanuel Sanders left, because he kind of threw some shots at Big Ben, saying that.
Look, if I had a quarterback that won me 2 Super Bowls, there should be no shots thrown at him.
He's a douchebag, though, by all accounts.
Yeah, they also lost some other veterans. They lost Ryan Clark in the secondary. Troy Polamalu's kind of losing some steam. So the Steel Curtain defense is not I guess you can say what people have been used to in recent years. So I guess how do you think they finish this year?
I think they're a 9 to 10 win team this year.
Who's in their division?
Their biggest test in the division will come from the Ravens.
The Ravens. I don't know.
Trust me, the
9.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah, it's like
for
a
some
9
reason,
game.
Pittsburgh just knows how to win with Big Ben. You have Big Ben as your quarterback.
Especially in them
It's-
cold
It's
games.
it's hit or miss. I mean, Big Ben is Big Ben. They almost made the playoffs last year.
I think 9-win team.
Okay, the Dolphins wrecked them last year in Pittsburgh in
Yeah,
the snow.
with
Never
that-
mind.
with
Never mind. Okay, but just to bring it back to my point, you think the Steelers are going to win 10 games? They're in the division with the Ravens and the Bengals. At least the Dolphins only have to deal with the Patriots. They're in the division.
Yeah,
with
but the
two
Dolphins
teams
lost
who
to the
are
Jets and Bills
established
twice
better
last
than
year.
them. They're
I
established
don't think the
better than them.
Ravens are gonna be as good as everybody thinks.
Oh, I think the Steelers are gonna go 8-8. I think they're gonna experience a regression this year. True story. I had them going 10-6, and then I looked at their receiver depth chart, and I had no idea who Marcus Wheaton was, and he's the second guy behind Antonio Brown.
Big Ben's gonna create him into a monster.
Well, that's all well and good, but their running back also has a lot of apostrophes in his name, so I'm gonna say 8-8.
I think I don't know 9-7. I don't know. They're not.
Y'all are yelling at me that I said
I
10
don't
wins,
know,
9,
man.
10
I don't
wins.
know anything about the Steelers. I don't think they're gonna be great.
Okay, the Steelers are gonna probably go 7-9. This is a down year for Pittsburgh. The offense isn't looking too good, and Big Ben the Steelers have just lost weapons continuously for like the last 2 years. They only had a chance last year because everyone else refused to jump up and grab that playoff spot that the Chargers took. So for me, the Steelers are a 7-9 team, 8-8, 9-7 if they're lucky.
Okay, so next on our list of teams that Bahamian football fans love, we have Tom Brady's very own New England Patriots. AFC East dominant front runners for the last, decade? Maybe decade and a half.
I'd like to. While we talking about the Patriots, I was looking at Jimmy Garoppolo today, and he looks like he's playing a quarterback on TV. Like he's such a pretty fellow.
And he's backing up Tom Brady, which is remarkable.
I feel
which
like-
makes me think that Bill Belichick just is like, that
Like-
guy's handsome. Maybe he could be my quarterback.
Sorry, Ryan Mallett. You're weird looking. Bye. I don't care how gay I sound saying that too. Jimmy Garoppolo is a pretty fellow.
Pause. Cause for pause. Cause for pause.
So the Patriots, they like we said, they got rid of Ryan Mallett, but the biggest question for them is, will Gronk be able to stay on the field?
No.
That's what's been holding the Patriots offense back the last few years. They've been right on the cusp, but they
What's
haven't
been
been
holding
able to.
them back is losing Aaron Hernandez as well.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. That happens.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not having Gronkowski on the field in the playoffs.
I don't
that-
think
that really
Gronkowski being healthy and playing a full season is something you could bank on. Like you can't, because he's so injury prone.
you
And
can't.
he treats his body so recklessly. That's
What
not,
they do have to bank on is the development of their two young receivers last year, Tompkins and what's the other kid's name? Tompkins and
I
Dobson.
know Tompkins had a pretty solid preseason, didn't he? Not that it means anything.
Yeah, not that it means anything, but he did, but that's what the Patriots need. They need Tom Brady to. I don't think at this point he has time in his career to recreate new weapons, so they need these guys to develop right now.
Do you
There's
think
no room for error?
You think Amendola is gonna stay healthy?
I don't think he's gonna play more than 10, maybe 11.
Like
games.
him and guys like him and Gronk, you can't guarantee to stay healthy. Those guys are
Which means that
Well,
Justin
Gronk
Edelman,
just had an unfortunate 2 year because before that he came out injured of college,
hurt,
but
yeah.
he had a great 3 years, and then some fluke play on a field goal just hurt his arm. But he likes to party and fist pump all the time.
Wasn't
so
he hurt before that though?
in college,
Didn't he
No.
get it? And when they went to the Super Bowl and the Giants beat him, yeah, Giants.
Yeah.
Didn't he get hurt that year too?
yeah, he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
Like he.
I mean, you get hurt in the last game, I could live with that.
I thought he got hurt during the season. He didn't.
No,
he
no.
did. But
I don't know.
a major concern for me is that Edelman is the number one receiver. Like they expect someone to emerge, but Edelman is the guy. Edelman is going in third and fourth round in fantasy drafts, which has to make Tom Brady like very concerned. The Mikens trade also had to piss Tom Brady off. He said as much, but I think the Tim Wright move is a great move for the Patriots. They get another tight end who they can run the two tight end sets with.
That's the most
to
important
get
set for
them
New
back
England.
to
That
what they
two-tight
were
end
doing
set.
with when they had Aaron Hernandez there, and they have Revis. The defense is improved. They have now instead of running out Troy Brown and defensive back now. This is probably like
That
the
was
best
10 years ago.
secondary that the Patriots have ever had.
Yeah.
Now the guys who were guarding their 1s and 2s last year get to defend the slot
Is
position.
Talib still there?
Yeah, he's,
Yeah,
still,
he's
there.
still there.
So
Wow,
now
that's
he's
sick.
on the second
But
best.
what do you think about
receiver.
Belichick trading Ryan Mallett to keep Garoppolo? I mean, what type of? I mean,
I
if
think
Tom goes down, what do you think could happen to the Patriots?
I think they knew something about Mallet. Like I think you know what I mean? I think they tried to extract as much value out of him as they could. I think Garoppolo obviously played better than him in preseason. I think Garoppolo's going to be a better player than him. Like cuz how come like you know what I mean? He's been with them for 4 years, you know what I mean? They must know something about him.
And
mean-
getting Revis and shoring up that secondary was completely basically trying to copy the model that the Seahawks pretty much exposed the Broncos to. And for the Patriots right now, it's all about beating the Broncos. You saw what the Seahawks did with that secondary and a group of pass rushers. And I think Belichick is hoping Chandler Jones is gonna be that guy that leads the pass rush and is gonna be able to shake up Peyton Manning the way the Seahawks did.
I was going to ask if you think their pass rush was good enough to recreate that. But then I don't think Seattle, I mean, I feel like in the front in the box, they're better than some of their parts. I mean, their D-backs are crazy. But like the linebackers and D-line are, I mean,
Well, the pass rush and the secondary go hand in hand, so it's
Yeah.
kind
Gotta buy
of
time.
difficult to say which one makes the other one better. Because if you have a good secondary, they can make your front seven look a lot better.
yeah, that's true. So, I don't know, maybe.
I think the Patriots, while they're very, very strong, they still have a lot of weaknesses, and they have so many holes. And like Amendola's injury prone, they have Gronkowski who's injury prone. One or two of those guys go out, and then you're basically running the offense you had last year with Tim Wright, who you hope
which
can
made the
turn
AFC
into
Championship
Aaron
game.
Hernandez.
Those
but-
guys, they could pull guys out of nowhere, though. Like, who's Kimbrell Tompkins? Who the hell is he? Like,
Yeah, he was a rookie they drafted. But who was that tight end that they picked up who caught like 2 touchdowns in one game? Like he was like working at a grocery store, like Kirk Warner type story. And it's just like, oh, I'm on the Patriots catching touchdowns.
one strength the Patriots have, though, I think that division is a strength. Like, the Jets. Like, no, it is. Like, who really you step up and challenge? You think the
Look,
Bills are
one
gonna
thing
challenge
about the
them?
AFC East is, even when
They all
teams
suck.
are bad, they always put up a fight against their counterparts in the
Until
AFC.
it gets cold.
The Patriots never go 6-0 in the division, so you can say that as much as you want. The Patriots never run the table on
In
teams
December,
who you think
no-
are not good.
In December, who's going to step up?
What are you talking about? What? Oh,
Oh,
it's not-
I think they win 11 games. They go 11-5.
I think they're around 10, 11 wins as well, and they probably win the AFC East.
They're going to outright win that division. This division sucks.
okay. The Patriots are probably gonna go 11-5, 10-6, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same thing. They're a 10-6, 11-5 team, and that's your division winner in the AFC East, I think, once again. And so let's go to number 5 on our list, and that'll be the San Francisco 49ers. In back-to-back seasons, they've been to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game. And I guess you could say after a down period, they found their quarterback in Colin Kaepernick. And he has been one of the pieces to make the 49ers a marquee team again. And we see if they continue that this year.
I just came from there, and, like, the consensus. Like, no, the consensus.
I am so surprised it took him this long into this
Yes.
podcast. To
I just
drop
came
the
from San
fact that
Francisco
they're-
yesterday. I
Okay.
did. I just came from there, and the concern seems to be, like, in the streets or whatnot, that they're in trouble.
My ears.
I
in the
get.
streets.
No,
I was
my
there
ears
for
were in
a
the
week.
streets of San Francisco. I was there. Yeah, but they seem to be, the people there seem to think they're in trouble. I don't know if it's because of the suspensions, but I think this is the year for Kaepernick to establish whether he's for real. You know what I mean? Like this guy is doing his fantasy draft right now, and he's celebrating.
Yeah.
Anyway, they need to find out if Kaepernick is good or not, if he's their guy or not. They got a lot of pieces around him. I know they got like Stevie Johnson and Vernon Davis and all.
Yeah,
that.
they definitely made a lot of
Like-
improvements offensively to, I guess, make the leap for Colin Kaepernick easier. He now has 3 legitimate receivers, and
I know
Vernon
they
Davis-
stole Stevie Johnson from Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a steal.
It was one of the most surprising moves of the offseason.
And they take it with the offense too. Like I know, like because I know last year I hated watching it. It'd be like 10 shifts along the line. So I know they said they did something with the offense. I'm not familiar what, but I think Colin Kaepernick has to beat the franchise guy.
Remember this. Remember this name on San Fran. Bruce Miller. Remember that name.
The fullback.
Yeah.
That guy is
Fullback.
good.
Who
The guy
is
can play.
Bruce Miller?
He's a fullback. He's really
From
good.
the great institution of UCF.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Hey, they just signed him to a long-term contract, so
alright. Blah, blah,
he's
blah,
good.
He's good. Yeah,
The
sure.
thing about the 49ers that it makes me extremely confident in their season is just how good they are in Madden. Like, the addition of Stevie Johnson makes that offense amazing when you have
You took
Kaepernick
it
on
there.
the field running around. When you have Kaepernick on the field running around with Bolden out there, with Crabtree, who's now fully healthy, had a full year to recover. And now you have the defense who, you know, if they can stop getting suspended, should be able to hold up to, you know,
I'm gonna need for those
above
guys to
average.
stop beating up their wives and like falling asleep drunk in cars like before.
They need like a solid 7 of them to stop doing that, I feel, to
They're gonna
win
sign
the
Michael
division.
Sam. I could see it.
Michael Sam's going to the Rams practice squad, and I guarantee Michael Sam will play at least in 2 games this year.
I think so too.
See,
He's good, but
And that's and the 49ers problem, like we were talking about the suspensions, and are they going to be able to keep up this top ranked defense when you lose McDonald?
But you remember Dakari saying it's easier to lose him at the beginning of the season than it is to lose him during the season. Dakari, do you want to elaborate on that? How you think about the losses on San Francisco is?
you're not sure how Navarro Bowman is going to come back from
From
his
that
knee
ACL,
injury,
yeah.
if he's going to be
that was-
100%, or
Ugh.
how long is it's going to take him to be 100%. So they definitely do have some questions on the defensive side.
I think the 49ers probably have, even regardless of the suspensions, just the scheme that they run and the fact that they're coming back a little healthier than they did last year. And they're not going to be relying on the defense nearly as much as they did. So for me, I think the 49ers, they don't win the division. That still goes to the Seahawks. So the 49ers get into the playoffs at 10-6, which is what they do. Have home field in the first round, win that, go on the road, and, you know.
Yeah, they're
Get to
going to
work.
be a top 2 team in the NFC, I think. Top 3 at minimum. But it's them or the Seahawks winning the division. Whoever wins the games between them is winning the division. So that to me is a
I
toss-up.
don't sleep on the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals might take a couple out of them. Like,
I'm all the way asleep on the Cardinals. In terms of winning the division,
I don't
I'm
think they're
totally
gonna win a
asleep.
division, but they're gonna like. I think they're gonna get some discipline. Like they're gonna.
No, I get where you're coming from, because I actually wrote that in my column that I think they're going to
didn't
surprise
know
a
that,
lot.
see? I didn't
I
even
think
know
they're
that.
going to surprise a lot of people, but I think the 49ers finish 12-4. They're going to finish 12-4 just because I have that much belief in Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, frat brother.
Yes.
I think they win 10 games. Maybe 11 if Kaepernick is good. Maybe 9 if he isn't.
They're
He
11
never
12.
gets
They're an
tired.
11
I don't
12
know
win
if you've been on
team.
Instagram, but he never gets tired.
I
He
bet
said that.
I
100
follow him on
times.
Instagram, but is he good? Like, is he good?
He never gets tired.
Yes, he is good. He is a good quarterback.
Do you know how good you can be if you never have fatigue? He never gets tired.
We're gonna find out this year.
Okay, so that's our top
And by the
five.
way, I'm drafting Colin Kaepernick right now.
All-purpose
In my
yards.
fantasy league.
There we go. This guy is so versatile. He's multitasking. He's doing his fantasy draft as he produces his show.
So that's our top 5 teams that we think Bahamian fans will want to know about, and the top 5 teams they care about. But another thing we love to do, we love to jump on the bandwagon, because let's face it, we don't have a real home team, so that pretty much leaves us all as free agents to roam about and do whatever we want. So who do we think is going to be that team this year that everybody jumps on the bandwagon once January, late January, early February rolls around and they start to claim these guys? Who is that team going to be this year?
Boy. We know Denver is going to be one of those teams that everyone's just going to jump on.
Yeah.
Maybe Indianapolis or Denver, one of those two teams here.
Since Peyton Manning, they've been a pretty
think-
popular candidate for that.
I think Andrew Luck is like, payments catch on to everything. Like, I think Andrew Luck is a little too hipster. I think he's 2 years away from being 2 years away. He's a little too under the radar. Like, I think people will catch on in a couple of years. I think New Orleans. I think New Orleans they're gonna come back strong. They're gonna be entertaining to watch, and they're probably gonna be on TV a lot. And
For me, I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think Atlanta's going to be that team. I know Bahamians love traveling to Atlanta now.
That's the direct Delta flight, bro.
all their favorite reality shows. I know this
I was on it
all
yesterday.
too well
Yeah.
firsthand. All their favorite reality shows are based in Atlanta.
Yes, Annie.
They were
Yes.
they were on Hard Knocks, so you know the ins and outs of the team have already been introduced to people's minds there.
But
And they were a good team that super underachieved last year, setting everybody up for this year when they return to form and win about 11 games.
I
So
mean,
look for
their
the
wide receiving
Falcons.
core is beastly.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And the defense isn't that bad. Last year was the offense that really failed them.
I
That's
think
another thing. They're going to be fun to watch. Cool uniforms, cool city, fun to watch, easy to root for.
I think they're a good candidate, but I don't know if they're gonna be any good.
I feel like Nal just nailed it. I almost cursed just now. Nal just nailed
It's
it.
just a filthy man.
And I have no. Okay, the only other team I would probably say could come close to that would probably be Philly, just because they're running Chip Kelly's offense, and any team that can put up a huge number of
That's a
points
good one.
is gonna get the attention of any casual football fan, because they have the ability at any given moment to throw up 3 touchdowns in a quarter, and everyone loves to see touchdowns, no matter how much people say they love
Hey,
to see defense.
I could
but
guarantee
touchdowns
one
doesn't.
team, if one player plays on this one team, people would just go goo goo gaga. If Johnny Football
Do not say
plays,
Dan Marino.
if
Okay.
Johnny Football plays for the Cleveland Browns and gets like 2 straight wins in a row, this whole town would be Cleveland
I
Browns.
feel
I
like
got-
Bahamians don't like him though.
I got one though. I got one. I got
No,
one.
because the
Everybody-
Browns going to be tweeting about him, and then they're just going to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
I
Johnny
got
Football."
one. Everybody will jump behind. If he comes out, win his first 2 games, and does his thing, everybody's gonna be in his bandwagon. I think the team from Washington.
The Redskins. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the team from Washington and
Washington.
RG3. I think if he, I don't think he will because I think he's bad.
Here's the thing: Bahamian fans aren't jumping on anybody 2 games into the season.
I feel like
You're
no.
not-
let's say
They're not committing to anything until after December. So
Let's
those
say he
2
has a s-
games will mean nothing.
like
You
because
have
you
to
know
at least-
because you know our people love highlights. So if he could stay healthy and do his thing and be on ESPN, I feel like if they're in the playoff race, I feel like people will be on them.
All right. Well, that's it for this segment. And when we come back, we're gonna get to our. Well, we already got to some of them. but
We're going to let
get
you know
to
how
our-
smart I am in football.
We're gonna get to our division winners and who we think is gonna win the big game.
Let's get to the meat of this. Fight songs going on. Let's see AFC East. I have New England win the AFC East.
I've got New England as well.
New England, like easily.
I'm gonna go with the Miami Dolphins to win the AFC East, and you're all gonna be wrong.
No, you-
And the AFC West, I got Peyton Manning winning it.
Yeah, I'll take Peyton too. Broncos win. Broncos in 5.
Broncos narrowly edge out the Chargers, who are gonna get the wild card, but the Broncos win the division.
I'm not saying this because I just got back from San Diego, but I think the Chargers are gonna win.
This dude is just gonna pick
He's gonna
every
pick every
team
California
on
team.
the Pacific Coast.
West Side.
So now we have the South, AFC South. I got Indy, Andrew Luck.
I'm also gonna take Andrew the Giant Luck and the Colts.
The Houston Texans are gonna win this division.
Ryan Mallett. What? Did we even have a quarterback?
They got Ryan Mallett now.
Wait, Andrew Luck.
And the AFC North, I got Cincinnati.
I'll take the Steel Curtain.
I'm gonna take Cincinnati, like you told you guys earlier.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I know, right?
We'll get back to this one later.
To win 8 games.
Nice.
So my 2 wild card teams are San Diego, Tage's favorite new place, and then I've got the Steelers in the second wild card.
None of us picked wild card teams.
I think the Bengals are making it so well.
Yeah, my wild cards would be the Chargers and the Patriots.
All right, so the NFC West, I got Seattle winning it.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Say Arizona. No, I'm just playing. The Niners. I think the Niners are gonna win.
Who would have guessed that? But I gotta go with the Super Bowl champs who lost no one to win their division
Super
again.
Bowl champs.
I think they're
never
gonna
come
do
back.
okay. They're gonna do okay.
I'm gonna go with Colin Kaepernick and the Niners, and
Careful.
we'll take the NFC West again.
All right, why don't we just knock out the 2 wild card teams you think gonna make it? I got San Francisco and the Panthers as the wild card teams.
For my wild card teams, they're going to be San Francisco and Tampa Bay.
Ooh, Tampa Bay. That's a bad pick, guy.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta because they're my trendy hot pick this year, and Philadelphia.
I think the Bears are gonna go in because I don't think they're gonna beat the Packers in the division and the Cardinals.
And in the NFC South, I got New Orleans.
Okay, and for the NFC South, I'm going to go with Atlanta, actually, to win that division.
They're gonna be terrible. I'm going Panthers.
I like Tampa here. Well, I'm not gonna explain every reason why,
They're
but
gonna be
they're
terrible
tall.
too.
And in the East, I got the Eagles getting out in the NFC.
You guys are gonna scream Homer, but I'd say Giants.
Homer.
Giants.
What an awful pick.
Giants.
Eli Manning hasn't been good since I don't know when.
We're gonna have a 9-win season and win a Super Bowl.
To be fair to Tage, y'all do know we spent 20 minutes talking about the Dolphins, right? So I mean, it's only fair that he gets his 1 minute to talk about the Giants. But yeah, I picked the Eagles to win the NFC West as well.
Nick Foles led the league and dropped interceptions.
I'd love to
He's
talk
so
about how
lucky.
awful the Giants are going to be for 20 minutes. That would be awesome. But I actually think that Philadelphia takes this division because I believe in Chip Kelly.
Philly is a
Chip Kelly's
fluke.
gonna get it done.
And the North, I got the Packers winning with Aaron Rodgers coming back with a big year.
Yeah, Packers all the way.
That's actually hilarious. The Bears are going to win this division probably in a walk.
No way.
Yeah, I take the Bears as well in this division.
My dad is gonna disown me when he figures out that I said the Bears aren't gonna win the North.
That was riveting, us picking division winners right just now.
I know, right? I almost crapped my pants.
So let's go with we're just going to go AFC champion, NFC champion. I got Denver winning over Indy, and then I've got San Fran over the Packers in the championship games.
Okay, in the NFC, I think San Fran's gonna come out of the NFC again for the second time in 3 years.
In the NFC, I think San Francisco finally beats Seattle and makes it to the Super Bowl. And then in the Super Bowl, from the AFC side, they have to face the winner of the Miami Dolphins and the San Diego Chargers in a rematch
What?
of what happened in 1995 when Pete
Pete
Saravich
Saravich missed that
broke all
40-some
of our
yard field
hearts,
goal.
and Natron Means had a
Really?
permanent spot in my memory.
Now we talk about
And
Homer.
we take revenge.
Homer.
And we make it to the Super Bowl to play the San
Homer.
Francisco 49ers.
All right, so what's your real pick?
Not for real.
That's my real pick.
Oh, jeez.
That's what I'm going
Okay.
with.
Oh Lord, I gotta go.
I
Wait,
didn't go on the AFC side. I thought we were gonna do it one at a time. But from the AFC, I think the Pats are gonna beat the Broncos this year, and the Pats get in to play the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
I think the Indianapolis Colts, they jump over the hump and they win the division, and then the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl. We're gonna win 9 games and go on a Super Bowl run. I feel it.
Left side of the room is really, really Homerville right now.
That's fine. But
It's
isn't-
one of
isn't that
those
what you want,
years.
though? We don't want everybody to just be making the same trendy picks.
I
It's
got-
one of those years. I can feel it. It's one of those years when we have a mediocre season and go on a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
I know what's happening. And
I got-
And I feel like y'all are gonna play the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game. Say it.
we're gonna beat the crap out of them.
I got San Francisco winning it all this year.
Speak it.
I hope San Francisco wins. It's
Front
my
runner.
second favorite.
I wonder who
team.
John would pick if UCF was like a professional football team. What he would think they would do. This is someone who woke up at 8:30 to watch them play Penn State.
Hey.
Whatever.
Quiet.
Ireland.
That brings back bad memories.
Calls me home.
We here at 10th year seniors consider ourselves a classy bunch. Classy enough to tell you what's classy and what's not classy. So we present to you our ongoing series. That's classy and that's not classy.
My first nomination for classy. That's not classy. I gotta give a not classy to Mr. Josh Shaw, USC defensive back, who
This guy.
injured his ankles by saving his nephew, jumping off a balcony to jump in a pool and save his drowning nephew. You don't see the air quotes I'm making because he didn't do that, because he completely lied about it. I personally think this is not a classy move by Josh Shaw. But me in my, as Kara say, talking in first person,
Yeah,
in
Kara.
third person,
Yeah, Car.
yeah, Kara. I, Dakari, personally believe this is kind of pretty awesome. Like, where would you go? Like, how far would you lie to keep a secret if you knew it?
He's like
Oh man, I
wiring
just
up.
messed up, but I need to keep this going. People need to have a good vision of me. So right now, Joshua, classy.
I got Kevin Love signing with starter. My friend, that is not classy.
No. End it. Cut. Edit.
Leave Kevin Love alone.
Hold on. He just came from out of nowhere with that shit. Like, he had no idea anybody was even going back to basketball. That's crazy. Anyway, there was so many reasons to select this man. He could have his entire segment by himself, but that's not classy. But I'm going to go with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. His infraction this week was saying that he is not going to put Jimmy Jones on the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Now, as a person that has not seen his NFL team win one Super Bowl, if a coach leads your team to win 2 and makes you the most dominant team of a decade, you put him in the Ring of Honor. So Jerry Jones, for many, many reasons, not just this one, you, my friend, are not classy.
All right, now I'm gonna go with it. That's classy, and this is very personal to me. I'm gonna go with my cousin Antoine Richardson. It's about to be announced that he's getting called up to the 40-man roster on the New York Yankees, and I asked him to make a statement about it, and he's been pretty preserved. Like, oh, I just want to play hard. I want to do my best. Thank God. Dude, that is so classy, because if I played for the Yankees, I would be telling everybody what they could do with various parts of their anatomy and mine. Like, I would have no chill if I was playing for the Yankees. That's the greatest franchise in professional sports history, and you're playing for them. You're one of them, and you're so cool about it. You're so composed. I would not be classy.
So classy.
You, sir, are a classy gentleman, and I salute you. You are classy.
Very classy.
Go Yankees. Bring me back some dry fits.